Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday's My Chronic Migraine Life. So I've been waiting to do this video for a very long time and I had no idea how excited I would truly be to do it. But I'm sitting in this chair in my dining room on purpose. This vantage point behind me is something that used to be the biggest kick in the gut of my everyday life. I would come downstairs, and if it was nice out, I would want to open up all the blinds and the windows and start my day. But as soon as I would open the blinds, the glare from outside would attack me. And instantly, the things I had planned to do, I'd have to readjust. Normally, I would close the blinds, but the glare would still bother my eyes. So right now, it is late afternoon. The weather has been kind of crappy, so it's that partly cloudy, the sun's about to set, even though it's not really out kind of weather, which is a no-no for people with cataracts. It is one of the worst things. It creates what I used to call snow blindness. For people that are avid skiers and stuff, they wear special goggles and sunglasses because the brightness of the white from the snow and the sun makes you not be able to see anything. It blinds you. And that's exactly what it is like having cataracts. And that is exactly what I had, sun blindness, if you will. I know the color is sort of changing in and out as I move around, but I am happy to be sitting in this chair because not only can I sit with this glare in my behind me, I can see my computer, I can see you guys, if you will, clearly, and even as recent as, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago when I did my last video before my second eye surgery, I was sitting in the opposite view with the stairs behind me with this glare staring directly at me, and I could still see clearly. It is like the gift that keeps on giving. So I know we've had a lot of really serious talks, a lot of crying, a lot of meltdowns, but I wanted to do a really fun one, and I don't know what I'm going to call the video yet, but I'm calling it right now all of the things that I can do now that I couldn't do before, right? Look what I can see. And every day is more exciting than the last. Now, not all of these things are positive. For instance, I now notice that I have several gray hairs, and that was, as you can imagine, very alarming and disturbing to me because I've been walking around like this for God knows how long, but unaware of what I actually looked like. I can see dirt. I worked really hard at cleaning something, and now I can see that I did a terrible job, and this was probably like this for years. I see all kinds of good and bad things, but the things that I'm really excited to tell you about are all those things. If you remember way back when, several videos ago, when I started to make the list of the reasons why I needed the surgery, the things that I was looking forward to doing once my surgery was completed and I was so-called recovered. Today marks the 3rd week anniversary of my left eye surgery, and it's been about almost 8 weeks since I did the right eye. So, as you know, if you've been following along, the time in between getting those eyes done was worse than it was before. It was very emotionally taxing because my vision was so poor. My left eye was almost legally blind because of the cataract, and my right eye had a lot of blurriness from the surgery, which unbeknownst to me was going to happen. And so while the center of the right eye was clear, the difference in the two in managing it, and as we know, I have a migraine brain, not a happy girl. But now, almost right away since I did the left eye, it's been literally a whole new world. I mean, it's the same world, but it just looks more beautiful. I mean, even garbage looks more beautiful to me, and that's amazing. There was some blurriness in the left eye, as now I know is usual. But it's the haziness is really starting to subside. It's very slight. I'm still doing my drops. I was originally doing 4 types of drops 4 times a day, I should say. 3 times of drops 4 times a day. After a week, I tapered down to 3 times a day. At the 2-week mark, I've dropped down to 1 drop twice a day. And next week, or actually tomorrow, I start doing 1 drop a day. And then that's it. I look forward to not putting anything in my eyeballs for a very long time. But the drops tend to make it a little dilated. The drop I'm using now is a steroid, and it feels very, my eyesight can feel a little cloudy for a few minutes after I put it in. So it's really after you stop the drops that the vision clears up. But I know a lot of you were asking, and I was asking, quite frankly, what would my vision be like when I was quote-unquote recovered? And while I'm still in that process a bit, I feel like I know what my eyesight will be. The big question for me was whether or not I would need glasses. Because I've got the progressive lens, the more expensive lens, my eyesight far away is perfect. Up close, my vision is 20/25, so it's pretty good. I can see my phone, I can see my computer perfectly. And that was things I was having problems with in the in-between time. But there are some instances where I will still need these over-the-counter reading glasses I showed you last time, just so that I'm not straining my eyes, because straining my eyes is not good for them. It's not good for my head, and there's really no need for it. It bums me a slight amount. I knew this was a possibility, because I have artificial lens in my eye, and you can't duplicate what a natural eye does. But the mild inconvenience, of course, does not outweigh the immense joy that I feel every single day now when I open my eyes, which is such a contrast to what I felt like in especially those first 2 weeks after my first eye surgery. I would open my eyes and instantly see the difference in my vision and just want to close them. I wanted it to be nighttime again. I wanted to go back to bed. I didn't want to get up, because it was just everything you looked at was a constant reminder that you can't see and fully participate in your life or the world. And I guess that was true before my cataract surgery. That's what prompted me to force myself to go through it, is that pieces of me were being taken away, and I was tired of not being able to live the way that I needed to, and there was really no reason to. Fear and avoidance can only get you so far. I know that I had to be emotionally ready, but the emotional readiness came out of a place of pure frustration. I don't have it in front of me, but I want to show you, I have some props, and I want to show you all the things that have come out of my journey so far. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the New York Times. This was a recovery present from my parents, and I am a lover of the New York Times. Always have and always will be. I'm old school. I want to feel the actual paper in my hand. Online doesn't cut it. Something about flipping open that big, beautiful paper. Now, I can see the headlines, but the small print is actually problemsome for me. I'm going to be using my glasses while I read it, but I'm still excited. The other thing is that I dug out today is this book. It's sort of appropriate for the time we're living in. The first 20 pages that I read 2 years ago, were really good. It's about how the creator of the polio vaccine began his journey. 2 years ago, almost, it would be in May 2 years ago, I was on a plane to California to visit my brother. And I still have the bookmark where I was at. I didn't know why then, but the entire page was blurry. I couldn't make out hardly any words. I would hold it to the side, up and side down, and on the plane, those little dinky lights over your seat, it's not really a proper light, I would try to get it at the right angle to see, but it was such a strain and such a struggle that although I was fully enveloped in the story, I had to just relent. So I carried the book around with me for California for a week, and then back on the plane, and went into a drawer that I actually forgot what drawer I had stuck it in until this morning when I went rummaging through for it. Again, I'll need glasses. I mean, I can make out the words now. It's perfectly clear. But it would probably strain my eyes to read without glasses. But that giant stack of People magazines, there's only 2 left. I read in bed for the first time the other night in, God, maybe 2 years. And small things like that you can't put a price on. You can't put a excitement level on. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. It's amazing, and it's so super exciting. One of the first things I did, now that we're all home stuck, I like being home, and I like cooking and playing with my recipes. And, when I first really realized that I would need this surgery, it was like Thanksgiving time. I was hosting my first Thanksgiving, and while I cook nowadays mostly from whatever's in my head or habit, there's a handful of recipes that I've traditionally made every year. And one of them which is over there, but I'm not going to leave you guys to go and get it. I couldn't rate it. It was devastating to me. I stopped, I cried in the middle of my Thanksgiving Eve preparations, and then I just had somebody read it to me and kept it moving because I needed to keep it going. But that was probably the biggest turning point. Not feeling safe, not feeling like I could see. It's something that we all take for granted, and it was a gradual process, but I was losing such big chunks, it felt like all of a sudden, and I needed to stop it. So now I can see those recipes. I purposely went and looked for them because I wanted to literally see what I could see. And that was exciting. Every little thing that I forgot that I was pissed I couldn't see, every time I see it now, I'm super excited. Like, in my bedroom, I have a super small TV. It's like 13 inches. I couldn't read that info button for like the last 5 years. I realized the other day that I was reading it and super excited. It was 3:30 in the morning, so I couldn't really tell anybody, but I was really excited about it. All these other things, these little pieces. But I think what I'm most excited about, by far, is the driving. After 10 days, so it was about a week and a half ago, I drove for the first time since December 7th. December 7th was the last time I drove anywhere by myself, but before that, for at least a good month, I wasn't driving at night because I was unsure. And so while it doesn't seem like a long time, for me, it felt like a lifetime. Certain things that, going to a doctor's appointment, going to Key Food to buy unsalted butter to make cookies, like small things. It was taking my freedom, my independence, and every time I had to plan my life going out versus just depending on who was around and who would be near me and who could drive was annoying. I knew I'd be excited that I could see, but I was very nervous. Obviously I've been in a car since then, but driving was a whole new thing. I don't think I've been this excited to drive even when I first got my learner's permit when I was 16. It is something I don't think that's going to get old anytime soon. And the ironic part is that as my world was very literally reopening to me, the outside world was closing up. So there's no way to really drive to, but believe you me, if I have to go grocery shopping, I'm volunteering for the driving. If it's Pizza Friday and I'm picking up a pizza, I am driving. And, it was a little anxious parking and parallel parking in the city, but after I was in the car, it just felt so good. The very first thing I did and drove through was Starbucks because that is my happiest place. And just ordering my own iced coffee, like just handing the woman my phone to scan to pay. Like all of those little things are big things to me. They are gigantic things. And, I had this list, right, of driving, reading, writing, and I'm pretty much conquering all of those things. The thing is that I have so much writing now to catch up on my blog that I don't really know where to begin. Not everyone that reads my blog is a follower of this YouTube channel yet, so I feel like I'm going to have to really work and think long and hard about what I'm going to say about this journey in a nutshell in a blog post to acknowledge my absence and the lack of consistent posting. I mean, I have a long laundry list of posts that were never written that need to be written. But my goal is to catch up, especially in this time of so-called self-quarantine. And that way, when the world opens up again, I can attack my new blog list and write as I go. Something simple as that is being able to come home after exploring or eating a great meal and being able to share it right away. I can't even really process that yet. Because my writing for me, while it was a great love of my life, became a stressor. Because once it came time to do the writing, it was so hard to see. Even though I could make the print bigger and change the brightness. I think the last blog I posted was February 5th, the day before my first eye surgery. And I was literally sitting at my computer like this. And I guarantee you there are spelling errors that I missed because I just couldn't see it. And the only reason I forced myself at that point was because I knew it would be a long time before I could post again. And quite frankly, it was bad enough that I was writing about a Christmas experience in February. I didn't want it to be May. But you know what? They celebrate Christmas in July for a reason. So my posts need to be acknowledged. So that's why I feel like I need to write something personal, just sort of explain why going forward things might be more delayed than normal, but that's just as a means to catch up, sort of. And so now I have to sort of, writing is sort of like, when you're a freelance writer, it's sort of like having homework every day of your life. I stopped torturing myself about not writing a long time ago, but I sort of got lazy mentally, the kind of writer where I don't really take notes. I just start typing. But that's because a lot of thoughts, even when I do this video, have been occurring to me for a long time. I've been thinking about it for a long time before I actually sit down to do it. And I feel like I've lost that muscle a little bit. Like I have no idea how to explain something that took 6 or 7 videos and a short blog post, but I'll figure it out. It's, like learning to ride a bike again kind of a deal, right? Like the muscle memory is there. You just need to sort of sit down and do the work and figure it out. And I will. But I just really wanted to hop on and share this little tidbits of all the things that I am loving about my new life and about the vision that I have so long and waited for so long, and really worked hard on mentally and physically. And ultimately, I couldn't be prouder of myself that I forced myself to do the thing that was uncomfortable, even when it got really hard, to keep going, because I knew it would be the right thing. I knew it would be a better quality of life. And I think that's a lesson that I'm still processing, and that was something that will serve me for the rest of my life in ways that I haven't even conjured yet. So I just wanted to share what I am super excited about, because I could talk about it for days. I mean, nowadays we're on the phone, right, and everybody is isolated and sounds stressed and panicked, and I have my fears like everybody else, but I am happy. There is nobody that is going to pick up the phone and sound happier than me, because my life is just starting as far as I can see it. So I hope you all are well out there. I hope you are reading. I am finally one of those people that are going to be home reading and writing and cooking and loving every minute of it. And so I just wanted to update you on what it's like to be me today and on my chronic migraine life. So I want you to all take such good care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.